Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danny Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hi, we're back again. I know we've got a bit of a surprise for you tonight, so just give us a few minutes. We'll let everyone have a chance to log in, and we might bring a surprise onto the screen. We've come tonight with red wine, so if you've got wine, let us know, or if you've got something different, let us know. We want to see it. We want to hear what you're listening to as well, and what gigs you've got coming up this weekend, because I know there's a heap on this weekend around the country. So let us know and send us some pictures and some photos so that we can enjoy it with you. We've got Ian Burns joining us tonight, and we've got a surprise as well. Somebody else is waiting for us in the green room, so we might welcome them both into the room. Hello.
Hello.
Surprised you, didn't we? We surprised you both. Yes. You've just got
crashing everybody's party tonight.
You've
it's
just
your
got
party, bro. It's
yours.
your
Yes.
party.
This is yours.
It's your party. No, yours.
No, it's your party.
Now you both have got some amazing
like this is the Brady Bunch, right?
It's when we get a few more, like Beck's 40th. There was a few of us on the screen, and it was exactly like that. It was, but there was more wine involved that night. There was quite a bit more.
Yeah,
but it's early night. Everything. Yes, that's right. It's all about getting.
It's therapeutic.
It's good
Cheers.
fruit. Cheers.
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 Oh dear!
I think I've got the cheapest.
I've got
the dodgiest looking glass out of all of us.
Oh no, mine's plastic because I break glass.
Oh, you win, Danny. You win.
Yeah, you win.
I think mine's Tupperware, but since my friends know not to give me glass anymore, because when they give me their good glasses, I don't know how, but they almost shatter just by me looking at them, and it never ends well because it wastes the wine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the glass is one thing. The wine.
The wine is where I draw the line.
Not now. We know the quality of the wine you drink, Danny. You don't want to spill a drink.
Yeah, that's right. I paid nothing for this wine. It was cheap, and then it won an award, and it just went sky high. So I got it before the hike, and I'm not going to have another bottle of it again because I'm not paying that much money. But it's nice. But
I do like that you're drinking it, though, Danny.
Yes,
I like that you're drinking it, because other people might go, "That's $100 bottle of wine now. I'm not going to drink that." And then you look at it for the next 20 years.
No, I'm not that bad. Exactly.
And then it becomes vinegar anyway.
Yes, yeah,
that's right. Yep,
and you wouldn't even drink it. Just drink it and enjoy it. Exactly. It's like these expensive bottles of whiskey that you get. When I go and I do the tastings, I think, oh, that's lovely. So is that one. And that one's cheaper. I'm not going to go, they're all nice. I'll get the dear one. I'm going to go, they're all nice, and I'm going to get the cheap one.
Ian, can I tell you something, Ian?
Yes, please.
You gave me your album when we met in April. You gave me your album, and it's been in my CD player of my van. It's the only CD that I have in my CD player. And I reckon I've flogged it to death since April. It is awesome. Absolutely awesome, mate. And it's so well produced. I love the songs. And I just want to say congratulations. I haven't actually had the chance to see you in person to say that. But seriously, mate, in my van has not left it's the only CD in my van, and you gave it to me in April, and it's just awesome, mate. Thank you so much, man.
I want to see
That
you
is
two.
fantastic, mate. Thank you.
Beautiful.
But Danny, I will absolutely give you one.
Oh,
Be my
no,
pleasure.
it's
And
so
thanks, Danny.
beautiful.
That's awesome, mate.
I want to see you two at the next songwriter in the round that you do. I want you to swap a song. Do one of each other's.
That I would love to, but I think everybody needs to remember how talented that guy is, mate.
Yeah.
Jamie, if anybody gets a chance to see Jamie live,
Yeah.
seriously,
Both of you
he's
live.
incredible. He's an incredible artist, and everybody that gets to see him down at because you're doing 2 shows in Tassie, aren't you, Jamie?
Yeah.
And you've got a couple of shows
Anyone
before
that
that.
gets to either of those is going to get their mind blown by how talented Jamie
really
is. I tell you, it's fantastic.
It's going to be
Okay,
great
so
fun.
Absolutely fun.
We need to get you both
Here's
down.
the deal, right? Let's do another songwriters in the round. But I tell you what, you sing one of my songs,
Yes.
I'm going to sing one of your songs.
Do you know what song you're going to pick?
I would love that.
Do you have a pick?
I want to sing. Well, I love California. I love it so much. I just love Out in California. It's just it's so good. It's so good. Can I sing that?
Yes, you bet. Yeah, because you know why? You'll do it better than me. So yes, please. I love that.
That's great.
Hey,
You know
Danny,
what it
when
reminds me
we're
of?
in the songwriters in the round,
Yes.
when we're in the songwriters in the round, to sit a meter away from that man, and just I was in awe. I just ended up turning around and I'm thinking, I've just got the best seat in the house here to
And you didn't have to pay.
to watch this. Pardon?
And you didn't have to pay.
No. I did. Well, I'm stingy. I'd have snuck in anyway. No, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh dear.
Just
Thanks,
incredible.
mate. It was such a beautiful. That's the first time I've ever actually done any of that before, and it was so great to hear Benny's songs and then hear your songs, because I was saying to Danny before, you know, you don't really get to know the backstory of songs,
Right.
and it was really special, man. Benny's a great songwriter as well, and just sitting back and listening to how these songs were written and the ideas and your songs, and having your wife Susie there. And I remember watching She Knows All the Lyrics, and I just thought that was absolutely the sweetest thing was hearing you sing and then watching over and having Susie just sing all the mate. So special, hey? So special.
So special. Thanks, buddy. And so special. Honestly, I always say, and I love that anyone would come and watch me play. But the person I love seeing in the audience is my own wife. And you know, a lot of those songs are written about Susie. So I'm able to sing to Susie if she's in the room.
Yes.
And she's with me a lot. This poor lady has seen my show many times, and she's so
still
supportive,
singing.
mate.
Yeah,
she's still singing. Yep, and rarely throws heavy stuff at the stage or sharp objects.
Not very often.
No, she's amazing. She's just amazing.
Oh dear, we've
Thank
got some
God she
people
asked
in
me
here.
to come and treat a horse all those years ago, eh? Because that's how I met her.
Oh,
That
wow,
is
that's
so
beautiful.
special. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That horse must have needed a lot of treatments. You had to keep going back.
Now, Danny, you just nailed it. She said, I don't know why that horse needed so many treatments. That's why.
This is how I'm going to get him through my
That's
horse.
exactly right.
I'm going to speaking of wives, I'm going to go and have some dinner with my wife. So I'm going to let you guys do your thing. Ian, love you, mate. Absolutely pleasure to see you.
Mate,
and I cannot wait to do anything with you in Tamworth. Please.
Yes.
Mate, I'm excited by it already. And I know I was only speaking to Becca just half an hour ago. And, mate, we're going to organise something for sure, because I think we had such a great time doing it, and hopefully that transferred to the audience. You know, it was just great, mate. I loved it so much.
Awesome, mate. Thank you so much. Danny, lovely to see you again.
Yes, you too. And I will text you my details and we'll work out this trip down here. It's going to be great fun.
Sure. Great. Thank you so much, guys.
You.
Enjoy your
See
Thursday
you soon.
night.
Awesome.
Say hi to your wife.
Take care, mate.
I will.
See you, buddy.
See you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Oh, isn't he lovely? How great
awesome.
is Jamie? Just great.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in every description of the word. So not just incredibly talented, but mate, what a top person. He's such a nice guy, so genuine.
Yes.
And
we're so lucky in this industry. We were saying before, but doing that songwriting the rounds, that's when I hear you guys do those sorts of things, that is my favorite way to see you all live, because you get to know you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And Danny, it's my favorite way of playing.
Is it really? Yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's such a different animal to jumping up with the band, and that's great. I love getting up with the band, because that's totally different, because then you're doing your darndest to get people up on their feet. You know, you're surrounded by these talented people, and again, sometimes that's the best room, the best seat in the house is you're surrounded by all these talented people. Exactly. But I love the songwriter and the round stuff. I love talking to the audience and having that interaction with the audience and telling them the story of why did I write this song? Well, the song came about because of this, and just the beautiful things. We may have even touched on it last time, Danny, where just a lovely man. I sang one of my very first songs, which was a song called The Boundary Rider, and this beautiful man came up afterwards, and he would be well into his 80s now, and he said, "Mate, I love that song." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And he said, "I was a boundary rider."
Oh, yes, and I do remember you saying that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, it was his career was riding the boundaries on these massive properties in the Northern Territory. And he said it brought back such beautiful memories. And you know, when you're playing with a band, you rarely get that kind of interaction. And I just love that personal interaction with people. I really enjoy it.
I think it, because I think it's so great, because we get to hear what you've put into that song and where it came from for you. And then you get to, because it's so intimate, you get to hear how other people have taken it too and what they've taken from it. And I think it just puts a whole nother level of magic into those words and that music. Such a special thing. I mean, there's so many moments like that in a songwriting.
And it's so stripped back. I think if the audience ever get a chance to see any shows with any great songwriters, there's so many great songwriters in this country. If you ever get to grab a show like that, the other thing is you've got that songwriter with their guitar or piano, but often it's a guitar. You're basically hearing it how they made it. And so it's not only why they wrote it and the story behind how they wrote it, but when they played that for the first time, you know, in their lounge room or in their bedroom or in their studio, that's exactly how you're hearing it. It's
you are hearing it how it was created. Yes, how it was created. Absolutely. And I mean, like, there's other, I mean, definitely band shows and other gigs of different forms all have their place, and they're all absolutely beautiful in their own right. I remember 100%. There was a moment where you guys were here and we were down at where were we? We were down at we're down south at a gig and
Port Arthur.
It was past Port Arthur, wasn't it? I can't even gone blank now. But we were
just
there.
Past Port Arthur.
Yeah. No, it'll come to me in the middle of the night, I promise. I won't text everybody. And we were there, and it was Brandy was on the stage. It had been a long day of us getting down there, and then gigs after gigs, and you know, you all got to play, and then we were all down the corner of the stage, and that moment we were all just having so much fun, and we were all exhausted, and that was a very special moment as well. So there's definitely the two different styles that have special magic moments, but 100%. Definitely that songwriting around. That was great.
I mean, there's many special moments, isn't there, where you're seeing one of your favorite artists with their full band, you've got the full sound, and you're just like, oh wow. And there's there's close your eyes moments where you're hearing this stuff and you go, oh, that is absolutely perfect. And then, agreed. And then there's these great times where you might see them just as a duo or, like, I mean, the Wolfies are a great example. There's a band that absolutely kicks backside. But if you ever get a chance to see those guys play as a duo, they're just amazing. And then, they're the same. It's just, look, I think when you love music like we all do, and everyone that's listening and watching now, I know would be music lovers. I think that's also a treat, isn't it? Because we're getting it in its different forms.
Exactly. Yeah, we're very lucky. And there are some absolutely beautiful people in the room tonight. Kaz is in the room. She says, hello, brother from another mother. And Paula's in the room. Paula's here.
Hello, Paula.
And she said she loves your music.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And we are just so many people popping in. So if I've missed any messages, pop them again, because sometimes they just sneak off my screen. But we are just, we were talking, Jamie and I were talking earlier tonight about the fans in country music and in Australian music. And we are they're the best. And Dave's in the room.
They are the best.
We are very
hey,
lucky.
Dave. How you going, mate?
Really. Now, you have been busy putting out a whole album. And it is fantastic. Now, you've already released 5 singles, and you I know you said, "Hey Cowboy," that is kind of your radio single at the moment, isn't it? That's sort of the one that you're focusing on.
I think those people that know a lot more about music than me would call that the focus track, which I can't actually tell you the difference between a focus track and a single.
And a normal track, I have to say I'm probably with Jamie on California. That's definitely a favourite. But then Think Again, I really like that one too. I think I like them all. I'm not going to lie, but definitely there's some things that stand out, and I think it's the times that you're listening and where it sticks in your head and what you're thinking and feeling at the time. But it's so much. How has the reception been of your music and your album and all of this coming together? Because you've been in the works for a while. It was sort of COVID, and like you've had it going been playing in your mind for a long time.
Incredible, Danny. I don't know if we'll ever, with what we've all been through with COVID and everything, I don't know. I think it became very unique as far as a creation and then the releasing process because of COVID, because I only got blown away by this the other day. So I would have written the first 2 songs, which came off the album, which was Think Again and a song called Friday Night. They were written and recorded, and it blows my mind to even say it, in 2019.
Oh, wow, isn't it crazy?
But of course, we had this great plan.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, that's what went out the window was plans. And that was that in about March, April of 2020, we were going to do Think Again, followed very quickly by Friday Night. I would have been in the studio. Yeah, and I would have been doing the follow-up, the entire rest of the album in the studio at that point. And then we would have literally, over the period of about 12 months, every single would have come out. Well, of course, reality is that because, the torpedo in March that year, Think Again ended up coming out in May. Friday Night came out later in the year. So it still blows my mind that Think Again was released in May 2020 and we've just released the album.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's giving you more mileage out of that album.
Well, look, and that is absolutely true. And who knew that at the time we were going to be able to release 5 singles, which if you look at Hey Cowboys, a focus track as well, 6 singles, I mean, not albums, sorry. But it was because of COVID and the restrictions we had. So in this case, in New South Wales, of course, all gigs were off. We weren't able to do anything. Yeah. But when we had the opportunity, we were able to get back in the studio.
Yes.
And what it meant is we could spend a lot more time in the studio working on these songs. So it gave me more time to write and it gave us more time to complete the album.
Do you think would that have changed how it sounds, do you think? Not having that extra time with it?
Yeah, and I think you touched on it before. So the if you look at now we remastered Think Again and we remastered Friday Night because by the time we released the album, there was changes we would have made to those songs, which is funny, isn't it? But I think because it was over such a long period, I changed. I had different stories. I had different influences in my life, and I'd interacted with different people in that time. Not that we wrote any songs about COVID, but COVID was an effect, not working the same as I normally would was an effect. All my family were affected. Every person we all knew was affected. And so that changed the songs. It affected how the songs were.
And that's another thing we touched on earlier tonight with Jamie, and how COVID has changed us, because I think it's taught us to be much more grateful, and it's taught us, not to take these small things for granted. Like, it was nothing to jump on a plane to go and see family or friends, and all of a sudden it was a big thing because it wasn't that easy to do. So I think it's made us stop, and it's made us listen to more music. It's made us understand more things. It's slowed us down when we were probably overworking, underappreciating, and that's why I think all these songs have different meanings now and different feelings involved with them, and it's part of growing. Part of growing.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think Australia as a whole has changed massively in 2 years. Incredible changes. Well, 2.5 years now. Yeah, big changes. I mean, what was a border before? Well, in the end, borders became hard.
It's almost like we were countries. We were our own little country.
Absolutely. I was only talking to a beautiful man the other day that a lot of people watching tonight would know, and I don't think he'd mind me telling you, but Duncan Toombs is an amazingly talented man. You're talking about someone who's won so many Golden Guitars in his videos. He plays on this. He is all over my album. He plays multiple instruments on that album, and he's God's gentleman. He's just a beautiful man. But I mean, this is an example. He couldn't go to his own father's funeral. And that is, and I'm sure wouldn't mind me saying that, but
I remember that, and it was awful.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. And that's something we never had to deal with in this country. And that was just one area, I'm massively, and I'm with everyone else out there. I just massively appreciate now that we can go out, we can play our music. We've got these fantastic Australian audiences that come to our shows, and I appreciate every single one of them, because it wasn't happening there for quite a while.
And think we now are sort of a bit more open to what other people have been through, which before we probably didn't think about. What they've been through to get to that show now it's probably massive, and in so many different ways it's impacted them. So I think, I think it's just made us in this industry even luckier, because people are still there. They haven't forgotten us. They're still around, and they're still supporting. And we've all got through as a result of that, because we've all helped each other through. It's
absolutely beautiful. I mean, that's our family, right? Exactly. And I don't say that lightly, because I genuinely mean it. In our country that isn't a big country with not a it's not a massive population, we've got this beautiful country music family, like Kaz, like Dax, all these great people out there, and we're like this crazy dysfunctional family unit.
It's interesting. I met a friend last week that I hadn't, and I had that conversation with them of, how lucky we are in this industry. And he said to me, do you have many friends in Tassie? And I said, I do, but I've always worked shift work. So for me to see people, and then shift work and then music for me. So a lot of my friends are on the mainland, and I never realized that was the case. There's people that I was seeing all the time. Don't live anywhere near me. And I'm like, well, hang on, I have loads of friends here, but oh my goodness, I spend my majority of my time at shows with you guys. And that's because the fans, and we're all fans, and we're all family, and you don't realize how far we are apart, but we see each other that much.
We've got this incredible link
network
that really ties us together, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think the other thing that everyone, that any of the audiences, look, we're fans. You know, I was a fan of country music long before I was playing it.
Exactly.
And I like nothing more than to go and watch a gig. I go and see so many live shows, live music, because I'm just a huge fan.
Yes, very much so. And that's how we all got in, isn't it? There's not one of us that goes and does a show or goes to a gig and go, I don't like this. We all love it. We all, it's what drives us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really lucky because a new venue's opened up near me, a place called the Beer Shed.
Oh, is that near you?
Yeah, it's only about 20 minutes away, which where you live, when you live where I live, 20 minutes is close. Yeah, and the Beer Shed's been great, for goodness sake, because, you know, the Wolfies and McAllister Kemper playing there, and I went to a gig there only like 8 or 9 days ago, and it was Dunk Tombs, it was Drew McAllister, and it was Mike Tarr. And funny enough, what were they doing? Playing Songwriter in the Round, talking about their songs. And so I'm so lucky to have such a good venue so close.
Yeah.
So I'm there all the time, just as a groupie of all these great people that are playing there.
Exactly. How lucky, because I mean, that venue has been going crazy. I've had so many people sending me messages going, you have to come to this, you have to come to this. And that venue is going off. It's lovely to see.
Going off.
And they are big supporters of music too. So
Massive.
it's great to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. They are such lovely people. Yet again, here we are again. Lovely people.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
supportive of country music in this country. And they've literally opened up their business to now live music.
Yeah.
And it's just great. And they never miss a show.
No.
They're there before it starts, and they're there 2 hours after it ends, and they watch every act, and you know, they're doing it because they love it, which
it's
is
just part of them.
their passion's amazing.
Yeah. And you know, we are lucky, but I have you've got this 11-track amazing album out now. Finally, I want to know what is your favorite at the moment, because I know that you'd be like any of us, it changes. Oh, he's got one there.
There it is.
How cool is that?
Reflecting. Yep. There it is.
Isn't it nice? How much better is it to hold a CD other than your phone where you're scrolling through? Yes.
Well, there's silly photos of me on it, and inside there's more silly photos of me. And look, I'm really lucky, and I'm going to give Gary a plug because
the artist.
So the artist there, if everyone can see it, I know it's not showing up very well on the light. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, that's good. No, I can see that.
Was that all right?
That was good. Yeah.
So I've got a really very close buddy. We've been friends for a long time, decades, because we're old. And he is a guy called Mr. Gary Fleming, and Gary Fleming is an award-winning wildlife artist and an author of about 50 or so books, children's books.
My goodness.
He does puzzles, he does everything. And if anyone wants to check out Gary, Garry Fleming, on the internet, you will see he's the most incredible artist. And I'm lucky to say Gary's a buddy of mine. And so Gary does a lot of my artwork on my albums. So I'm extremely lucky. So he did the artwork, and that's the other thing, Danny. That's what I love about, you know, CDs, and if you're talking really ye olde days, albums.
Albums.
The art.
Yep. Oh, I'm a still a record person, and then I still have tapes. I still have VHCs. So
yeah, good
but
on you.
I love to be able to read it, and I am a person that will read it cover to cover, and I'll read it. I'll read the thank yous. I like to read the whole thing. I want to get the reasonings. I want to understand. And that's again songwriting rounds where you get those underpinning reasons, and that's what you used to get to know. And back in the day before social media, when you got photos on those albums, that was all you had of that artist. You know, that was this is the poster that people are on. You didn't get to jump on your phone and have a look or get on the computer and Google them because it wasn't an option. So it was our entire amount of information on that person in that CD case.
Agreed. And I'm with you. I love the stories. I love the thank yous. And I also love to read who plays
Me too.
on albums. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there doing the same thing, because you go, oh, hang on, I know that name. And you pull out your other album and go, oh,
played on that album. You play on that album, yes.
Yes, that's
People
exactly
always
right.
say to me, where do you get, you know, you have all these facts and things and years that albums were out. And I'm like, I don't know how I do that. But when you think about it, that's because I read it every single time. Now, sort of coming further into the future, I'm like, what year was that? Because I didn't read it and read it again. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and it'll be interesting the next X number of years, because, you know, of course, as everyone knows, there's still a lot of us that love CDs, but, you know, we also write big cross section now. Of course, we talk to people that go, mate, I would love to buy a CD, but there's no CD player in my car anymore, and I don't have a CD player in my house. So, of course, that throws up that interesting question, because streaming is great. You know, I'm really lucky. Someone in Iceland right now could be listening to my song. And so that's great. And, you know, we couldn't have that before. But a couple of things as an older gentleman is I loved listening to my albums from track one right through. I loved not only art like we've talked about, but I loved that the artists, they had put them in that track order for a reason. And often it, you know, told this story. And of course, you jump on now, even if you go on most digital platforms and go for an album, it'll often still shuffle that album. So suddenly it's out of order. And then, of course, I don't like to categorize, but, you know, most people only listen to the singles now. And, of course, if you ask someone of my vintage about some of their favorite tracks that they've ever heard, they weren't singles. They were album tracks from some of those great albums in the past.
100%.
And now, would they even exist is the question.
They don't know. Yeah, that's right. Because, often I remember, you know, back in, you know, the earlier years of Australian country music and you know, sort of into the 90s and the early 2000s, if Lee Kernaghan put an album out, you listen to that album for months and months, because you couldn't afford to buy another album, because your $30 was a lot of money. But so you knew that inside out. And if you had said to me back then, what were the singles on this, I wouldn't have known, because it was just something that was played on radio every now and again. And back then there wasn't a lot of country music radio in Tasmania. But, you know, you'd have your nights and your couple of 1 or 2 or 3 hour sessions, and then it was, you know, it was a mix of everything. But you knew, and I don't know how many times that I honestly would have sat there and gone, I love this song better than that song, and that would be the non-pick single, and that's what but I've got lots of people saying Paula loves tapes and records as well.
I'm with you, Paula, too. Absolutely.
Rick says fantastic album and cover.
Hey, Rick.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thank you so much.
He said he's old school and loves CDs, vinyl, and cassette. Yep.
I'm with you too, Jonathan. Absolutely. Yeah. And I bet everyone we're chatting to now, if I played, you know, off your favorite albums, if we played you the last 5 seconds of a song, I bet you could tell me what the next song would be
right
on the
away.
album.
Exactly right. 100%. And even to this day, you might hear one of those songs come back on a radio, and you'd be like, oh, this song's next. Oh, hang on, we're not listening to the CD.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and you'd say that song to someone else who, you know, and they'd go, what? Never heard that song. You go, oh, it's such a good song.
I remember back in school days, my friends would be, you know, I was into country music and no one else was, and I didn't care. But there was a couple of times where friends would pick up a song, or they'd do it in their dance class, and they'd come into their room and they'd play 2 seconds of a tape. And I remember going, that's this song. And how do you know that? Because you knew every single beat in that song, and you knew every instrument and what it was going to do next. And now you don't really learn it inside out like we used to.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And that's not even including, you know, again, do all those crazy people that really listen to music, is of course the quality of the music on an album or a CD is this incredible quality where you can really hear those instruments. And of course, now with streaming, it
can't
possibly be that, that much of a
Definitely.
quality, because it's too big a file. So so the quality is actually reduced as well. Yeah,
because I'm a bit like that. I love to unpack a song. I like to, I could put me 100 listens before I fully understand that, because I'm listening to the drums, and then I'm listening to the guitar, and then I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'll focus on one thing throughout that song, so I really get the understanding, and then I try and understand the next layer, and that's how I unpack them. And I think because we used to listen to it on repeat continuously, we were doing that without knowing.
You bet.
Yeah, so I think it's
absolutely
good. But we're still
I do exactly the same. Yeah, I'll even now, and even in the last couple of days, I'll be scanning back through some old songs that I love, and putting on different discs and stuff, and anyone in the car with me would be driven insane, because I'll just hit repeat, and I'll listen to how the drum comes in and starts it, and then listen to that echo on the drums, it's fantastic, and then the guitar bit, and I'll go, I'll start that again.
Yes.
Anyone in the car with me literally
wants
to start it again. They want to kill me, and that's really not smart, because often I'm the driver, so you got to at least wait till you stop at a red light or something, because otherwise it gets very dangerous.
That's right. If I'm driving, it's my choice. That's what I feel.
Driver's privilege.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. You never know where you're going to end up. Just be quiet and listen to what I want to hear.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Kaz said album music
Thanks, Kaz. Thank you.
Rick has agreed too. He likes to listen through the layers. So there are a few of us still around, and I think it is actually going to go that way, because even now people are putting records back out. People are going, I am going to order CDs, which they sort of stopped that for a while. So we've just got to keep finding ways to buy them and play them. But I'm a bit of I'll buy the album because I want to do it and I want to read it cover to cover, and then I think, well, I might as well stream that, because you're not going to get the plays from me playing from the album. So I might have the album in my cupboard as a thing, and then I'll stream it so that you guys get that recognition as well. So
thank you. And I'll do the same, funny enough. I'll buy that. I'll buy the product.
Yes.
But often due to convenience, I'll also stream it. But I'll have the product.
Yes. It's there and it's easier. But you like to also do the other. Isn't it funny? We're just getting to these new habits that we've got. So where are you with your favorite? Have you got a favorite, or different days?
You know what? It's so hard, because I'm looking, if everyone wonders what I'm looking at, sorry, there we go. I'm looking at the song list. So I can look at the song list, and it starts with Think Again. And honestly, Think Again has a real soft spot for me, because I just loved everything about that song. I wrote that with David Carter and my friend Mary from Canberra, and I went down there to Carter and Carter's songwriting retreat with an idea. And funny enough, this will shock you, we had a couple of red wines, and then we got into that song with Mary Harrison and David Carter, and I just love how that came out, and the story behind that song was really important to me. And then song 2 was California. Well, I had so much fun writing California. And California, the loose, and I don't want to waffle on too much, Danny, but the loose story behind California was all about these beautiful Australians that I know that are trying so hard to make it in America, and what are they willing to give up to do so? So to me, there was a story behind that, and that was my friends who were trying so hard to achieve something and doing that, and then then we've got a bit of fun with If You Want Me To, and then Nothing's Changed at All, which most people wouldn't have heard unless they had the album, because there's an album track, right? But the story behind that is, as a country and as a world, you think we've really improved in so many ways, but in some ways you look at the news and you watch what happens and you think, wow, nothing's actually changed at all. We've still got so much room for improvement. And that was written from, and I won't bore you with the details, but from a very, very personal place. So that's got a spot for me. And One of Kaz's favourite I know is excuse me.
He hasn't had enough wine.
Sorry. And so there's another album track, but I wrote Misty Mountains with Lachlan Bryan. And I love that for the time that I spent with Lachlan. And anyway, I am really waffling, so I'm sorry, everybody.
This is lovely. I love this. This is what we want to know.
Yeah.
And how good is Lachlan Bryan? Oh.
Such a talented guy. And again, here I go again, such a nice person. And I love writing with Lachlan. He's such a great guy. And he took this song idea that I had, and we were together. We were actually face to face working together, and working with such a talented person who's got a totally different approach to his music and how he hears a song. So that was great because it literally took the song like that and blew me away. So I do have favorites. So think again, California I love. But I'm so lucky because there's a story behind every song. So they're like my kids.
I love that. And that's the thing, because because you're putting so much of yourself in, it's not enough wine, and you're putting so much of yourself into that, and you believe in it that much, is what I think that also helps tell the story as well. And I think as well.
And I love that, I'm telling very personal stories in a lot of cases. And then beautiful people out there are enjoying those songs. And it's just this amazing. I couldn't say thank you enough. And I really mean that. I love that, the beautiful people out there that listen to a song and go, gee, I like that song, because you just go, oh, wow, that's so personal to me. The fact that you like it is incredible. Thank you so much.
Yes. Exactly right. It's a part of you, and it's a part of your story. And Ricky said he needs to get the album for his radio show. Yes, and when you get the album, Ricky, let us know what your favourite is. We want to hear as well. Kaz said you know her too well.
Tell Rick, just PM me, Rick. Oh, thanks, man. And Rick knows this because we've chatted, and the Outlaws is about us, right? Because the Outlaws is that crazy song about all us crazy people that like country music.
Yes,
and so that's an our family song to me, because we are this great dysfunctional group of people that we're a bit different, and we're pretty proud of it.
Yep, that's right. And you know what though? If it wasn't for music, how many would we have come across? It's drawn us together, and we've got something so in common. That I a lot of people that I consider my really good friends, I haven't met in person. It's been through this beautiful world of and that's the difference. Like, yes, we couldn't do this before, so we would listen to albums, and there's a magical side to how we used to listen to it. But coming forward into where we are now, there's some even more magical things in different formats. Though we don't get the same connection with the music that way, we make other connections with this way. So it's that whole it's changing us and evolving us, and some of us are more dysfunctional than others, Kaz says.
You're right, Kaz. Example A, right there.
And it's like you
wants to be sane, right?
Exactly. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go out properly.
Jump on in. The water's fine. Believe me.
That's right. Exactly. No, I can't. That's why I think we all love our festivals, because we all come together, and you don't feel like you're there alone. Like it's nothing for me to go to a gig on. I usually go on my own, and I'm not really, because I've got all you guys there, and we are all coming together, and it's just lovely. But I cannot wait to see you perform this whole album. This is what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I know, because I know, Danny, that you're going to fly up, because that's the kind of person you are. And I've got this big album launch happening on September 9. Funny enough, at the Beer Shed. And it's going to be a great night. And all the guys that played on the album will be playing with me as the band. We've got this great sound guy coming, so the sound's going to be great. Yes. And quite frankly, I would love to see all of you people. Come on up.
Can they get tickets? Is it a ticketed event? Yes.
It is a ticketed event. They can get it through my Facebook or Insta, or just PM me. There's the new world, isn't it? Well, that's
exactly right. How easy is that?
Or if they clicked on, if they went to thebeershed.com, they can get tickets directly there. And they'll also see all the other acts that are coming up, because it's such a great lineup coming up. Again, Drew McAllister again individually, but McAllister Kemp are going to play there. I do believe the Wolfies are coming back again. Dozzy are coming over from America to play there.
Amazing.
Thirsty Merc are playing there in a couple of weeks. Everyone, between now and Christmas, it's absolutely flat out there. It's a great venue, but just to be selfish, I would love to see them at my album launch.
On the
9th of September.
I think you need to buy a membership or shares in the business, because
I'm a bit of a fan. What can I say?
But all of those and all of them just amazing, talented shows, but not one that you'd want to miss. No. I might have to bring my swag and make a permanent bed at your place so that I'm close by.
Mate, we've got plenty of room here. You are totally welcome here. So is everybody. We're lucky enough to have a few acres, but we do have 6 people in this house. We have 5 dogs. We have 4 horses. We have 3 cats. So it's pandemonium, I think the word is. But we do have fun.
That's right. And I bet you the cats and dogs absolutely stare at each other. I have 3 cats, and I did have a couple of dogs, and I did have more animals, but I'm down to 3 cats, and 3 cats is actually a handful. Not much more than my 2. My goodness, that third cat.
If there is, just to bore everyone about the life of the Burns household, if there's a traffic jam in the morning for the dogs to be able to, go outside and do their busy boo, it's because there's one cat in the way that will not let any of them leave.
It's going, I have the power here.
We're not passing.
Yeah, that's mine. I actually have, because I'm silly enough I freeze, so I let them sleep with me because they keep me warm, and I am silly enough to let them do it. And every night it'll be we'll all be asleep, or one. It'll be just my devil. I have a devil of a cat, and he's the littlest. But he will, in the middle of the night, wake up and bite the other one, and then the other one will bite the other one. And so I have a spray bottle next to my bed that I don't even have to spray anymore. I just pull it out and I threaten it, and then they settle back down. It's
so just hands up to anyone that breaks into Danny's house.
I will spray you.
You will get sprayed in the face.
Leave us alone.
The guard cats will also attack you.
I'm like, I don't want to spray this. Don't do it.
That's exactly right. This will hurt.
Yeah, it's cold. It's Tassie. You do not want this. Have you got any trips coming down here planned, like in the next little bit?
It's funny, not in the absolute short term, but I will absolutely be back, because, as you know, Danni, as well as yourself, I've got a lot of very good friends in Tassie, and it is one of my favourite places on the planet. So you can't keep us away from Tasmania, no matter how you try. Actually, you were able to for a while with the hard border, but now there's no hard borders.
But even when the hard borders were up, you did get down last year. It was early in the year, but you got here.
Actually did.
You snuck in.
Well, I swam. It was a long way.
It is a long way, isn't it? We really need a little station in the middle where we can refuel.
That's exactly right. The white sharks did motivate me to swim quicker. so I got across them pretty quickly. It's a crazy end of the year, Danni, and which is exciting too, because I'm a person that actually thrives on busy. So I've got the album launch. Obviously, I've got gigs. I've got a gig this Sunday at Richmond, and gigs coming up. But by September 9, we've got the big album launch. And then gigs right through to the end of the year, which is fantastic. But to all you lovely people that actually can make it to Tamworth, of course, here we are. And they are literally closing dates already to a lot of the Tamworth gigs that, that people like me are applying for, stages and things like that. are either A, open, or B, already closing, because before you blink twice, it'll be January.
I know.
It's incredible. So,
and it's
we're
even
already
closer because of April. It's not a full year.
Spot on. Yeah, you think you've got all this time, and then you actually look at the month and you go, no wonder these things are closing already. We're really racing through the year. And so our prep for Tamworth is already going full steam ahead. And then I'm already, it sounds absolutely crazy, because here we are talking about my album that's been released literally a couple of days ago, and I'm already writing. I'm writing for the new album already. Yeah.
And you can't stop, because that's part of your growth as well. And your albums, as they go, as your songs and your albums go, this is your diary. We're hearing the stories as they evolve and as you change and adapt, and it's so great. But you work full time as well as music, so you don't stop. It's just incredible what you do.
No, my life is extremely busy, which again, I am lucky, because I do thrive on that a little bit. I mean, as we talked about already, Danni, I walked in the door 5 minutes before. I did have a quick shower.
We'll give him a few
because
more
I
minutes.
was worried about being a bit smelly. So I had a quick shower, threw on my Harriet top, and came in. But yeah, they're 13-hour work days, but I'm extremely lucky. For anybody that doesn't know, I get to work with horses for a living. So that's where a lot of my stories come from. So what in some ways is a business, and what is a job, is also where I get a lot of my ideas from, because I meet these fantastic people at work and hear these great stories, and that's where a lot of the songs come from.
I hope you're taking that album out to all these people when you're going out.
I'll treat the horse.
That's right. I'll treat your horse. Yeah. This album.
They're very much being involved on September 9. Let me tell you. I'm saying, now yours really needs another treatment. If you want me to come back, September 9.
That's right. Beer shed. That's right. And I mean, what would you possibly say no? Because a great venue, great music, and beer as well. What's to say no to that?
And good beers, really good beers. For anyone who likes a good beer.
And do they do food?
And they make spritzers and everything. They're very talented people.
Well, I have to come. It sounds amazing.
When you come up, Danni, on September 9, you'll have to see.
That will be amazing. Oh, look,
I don't want to preempt, but it's going to be a part 2.
It's going to be great. And you probably won't be able to drive that 20 minutes.
No. Won't even be considering driving that 20 minutes.
We'll be staying close.
And I'm quite a good boy, but as everybody knows, at 0.05, you don't need to have a lot to be not a safe driver. So I definitely, funny enough, I might have a sip of a beer on stage, but I've never been anyone that can drink and go on stage. I won't do that.
So heavy.
I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't eat or drink before I go on stage.
No. You're eating a big meal before you go on stage.
No. I don't know how people do it. So, so I'll wait until after the gig, and then I'm really hoping to have a couple of quiet ones with the fantastic people that have come to share. Share a fun night with myself and the band.
I think it's going to be great, and I hope you get there and you've got somebody filming and sending photos out to those that couldn't make it, because it sounds like an amazing night to remember. And
it's going to be fun. Well, you'll be there, Danni, so you'll be doing it.
Oh, there we go. Yes, I'll sell your CDs for you.
Awesome.
Buy one of these.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm worth 30, then now 40. You should buy one.
Because we've got to pay for Danni's airfare.
That's right. I had to get here somehow.
That's exactly right.
Oh dear. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and congratulations on finally getting it out there, because this has been, I've known this is coming for so long, and it's so great to finally see you get it out and people can enjoy it as much as what you have been writing it and performing it.
Massively appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you so much to everybody. Anyone that's supporting or listening to my music in any way, I genuinely thank you so much, because as we've chatted about a bit tonight, you know, these things are manifested in our lounge rooms and we torture our family with them. And then, you know, if they pass the family test, you know, you get to go to places where I went, like Hillbilly Heart with fabulous Simon Johnson and you know, my great band, Dunk Tombs, and not my band, these great artists, you know, Dunk Tombs and Rod Mockbee and Simon himself and Brad Bergen on drums and Liam Kennedy Clark, who's currently touring the country on keys. These fantastic musicians.
Yes.
And we get to make music together. Like it's a dream. And so for anyone to enjoy that music, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And you know, the really special part about that too is so many of those musicians are on tour with everybody. So they are just to get across all of the music that they are playing, going from one stage to the next day, and to just be able to switch over to the next lot of songs or the next album. They are incredibly talented people, and they just deserve so much credit as well. Yeah.
They're genuinely world class, and I think that's where we're so privileged in this country. You know, you think, oh, they're Australian, you know, musicians, but they are actually world class. And when these international artists come over, and when they're our absolute top level Australian performers are performing, they're using these people because they are world class. They're just fantastic. Yeah,
it's so
brilliant.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on.
You.
Thank you for your music. We cannot wait to see you again. I'm hoping tonight, September 9th. And everybody else, I'll see you all there because we're all going to go. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining in. We have got more shows coming for you next week. And make sure that you get over and get Ian's album, because I promise you won't be able to choose a song. There are too many on there to love.
Thank you so much. IanBurnsMusic.com or Ian Burns Music on any platform, they'll find me.
And Ian Burns Music, that's what you've got to remember to do, because it comes up with Ian Burns Music. And if you do the other, it's not always going to get you there. So it's good to just remember to pop that in. And your amazing logo, so we can tell it's you, which is excellent.
Thank you. My beautiful sister drew that, so how lucky am I?
Very, very. Well, thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. Let us know where you're at over the weekend. I want to see pictures and films of what you're listening to. We'll see you all later.
Thank you. See you, everybody.